Hey friends, welcome to a new episode of Unplugged Tech. I am Meher Bala, your co-host of Unplugged Tech. I'm a WordPress developer and consultant by profession. By passion, I run a food blogger on Instagram by Bandra Foodie. In my free time, I contribute to the marketing team in the Make WordPress. Today, we have a very special guest. Let me hand over the mic to my other co-host to introduce herself, and after that, our guest. Perry, the mic is to you.
Thank you, Meher, for a really nice introduction of Unplugged Tech and you. My name is Ferry Dharawat. I'm from Mumbai. I'm basically a writer and content manager and co-host of Unplugged Tech. I'm really happy to pass the mic to our guest on the show, and we're really excited to have him. And passing the mic to Vijay, please introduce yourself. Tell us your name, where you live, and what you do.
Right. Hi all. I just hear the word special. I don't know how to react to that, but let's say my name is Vijay Chauhan. I live in Mumbai. I was born and brought up in Mumbai. I'm physics undergraduate from Wilson College, which is affiliated to the University of Mumbai. Currently, I'm doing my masters from NIT, Raurkela, which is in Odisha. That's all about me in short. I study physics, maths, and a bit of astronomy at time. I like coding a little bit. Um, I like astronomy. That's what I like. That yeah, that's all about me in short.
All right, all
Interesting.
right.
Physics. Physics is something which it doesn't. I was never that keen into it, but it's very interesting topic for a lot of us.
It is because it's like physics. I'm a commerce graduate. Like I we didn't really study physics in college, and we did it way back in school, right, Meher? Like science
Yes.
and having someone. So you said why you're special. Having someone really study physics and is here on a show to talk about it is very exciting. So can you talk a little more about physics and why you like it? Like taking physics. Yeah, I think that's first part of the question.
Acha. So, like I'm studying physics from last 5 7 years. So initially, when I started learning physics, at that time it was all like excitement. You see new things here, there. You see stars. You attend webinars and you find people talking about this star, that star. So back then it was more like exploring the field. Now when I'm like doing masters, now it's more like I'm interested in physics now because I can do it, not because it's so fascinating, but because I can do it. So the fact that I'm able to do, that's makes me be with the subject at this moment. So, and of course, I mean physics, I guess all fields of science have this connection to they all want to just know about how nature works in different zones. Biology deals with how I mean why humans are the way they are, and chemistry works the chemical relations. The way physics try to relate what you observe, and then you try making theories, and then you make theories, and then you predict that okay, this is something I am predicting. And if you can do experiments and try finding out, okay, so yeah, this is actually what the theory predicts. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, the what okay so in short, I can tell that why physics is so interesting is because nobody know everything about physics.
Mm,
One have to keep on working and try finding out. Even we don't know why, like nobody is sure why big bang happened. Okay. uh,
yeah.
I mean, that's a very big question, but even small questions such as why gravity is the weakest force, it's the weakest force, why it is so.
It is
I
okay.
mean,
Okay.
right? So
Why is it
this,
so? I'm sorry to
yeah.
interrupt, but why
Mhm.
is gravitation the weakest force?
Well, it is weakest because you can, if you compare it with other three forces. So total there are four forces in nature. The strongest is the nuclear force that keeps the nucleus inside, protons and neutrons. So if you imagine, then in a nucleus, let's start with a nucleus of sodium. Okay, you would find 11 protons inside. So this 11 protons and 11 neutrons it would have, right? Because its atomic mass is 11, its
Okay.
atomic number is 11. These
Okay.
protons have positive charge, so they repel each other. But if they do repel each other, they should, just break the nucleus, but they are not breaking the nucleus. So there must be some force. So that force, if you can calculate that force,
Okay.
similarly, if you can calculate other three forces, and gravitational force, electromagnetic force, if you then compare, then by comparison, gravitational force is the weakest force. But
Okay.
asking to take it, but then taking it to next level, why it is so weakest, we don't have an answer for that at this moment. There are some theories that can tell you why it is so weakest, but I mean, there are no verification, there are no experiments that confirm. So
Right.
this type of questions brings one in the path of, one can actually do PhD to find out why gravity is so weakest.
Then
Before that, one will not understand. So that may make one, keep on studying physics. So that is one of the reasons why I like physics.
that is very interesting, though I wouldn't say I understood exactly what it is, but yes, I can scratch the surface, me and Meher, right? And it does sound interesting if one has really have that bent of mind to understand all the nuances of it. It is definitely interesting, and we can see why you're so passionate about it. So I this is same to the that question itself. What inspired you to like physics? Like you really like physics, so what was the first thought, or what was the time when you decided you want to take up physics? Was there any situation or an
Okay, so
experience that, yeah?
yes, so I did my 10th from a village school, and then I lived in Virar for a few years, and then I moved to I had to travel like some 10-20 kilometers to do my 11th 12th. So I was doing science. Back then I was good in biology, physics, and maths. So before, now the policy has changed. Before, the you have combined science in 9 10th, and then 11 12 the subject is, they bifurcates. So I had pure physics, then you have biology, chemistry. So I was okay in all subjects, but I was good in biology, physics, and maths. So the first year exam just happened and it went well. Then it was summer vacation, so I'm just, skipping the thing. It was summer vacation, the very first year summer vacation, and I actually did not have many friends back then. So I'm like, no social type of friends. I'm like, what should I do? So I fortunately, the library was open, so I used to go to the library even during summers and just to read things here and there. um, I found this one book, which it's a theory, special theory of relativity. It's actually a theory, and it was a small book. And I started reading that book, and it was the topic was, the theory was developed by Albert Einstein. Like, if you have
Yeah,
heard Albert Einstein.
of
So I
course.
was, yeah. And I, of course, I did not get anything. I mean, not many of the theory. Of course, it's special theory. I did get few of the things. And E equals to mc square is something which comes out from that theory. That's like famous equation. So I knew about equals to mc square before, but when I saw the theory, and then the guy derives everything, right? That's more mathematical. So knowing the theory is like knowing equals to mc square, like philosophy. I know equals to mc square. That's like you can brag about yourself. I'm 11th. I know about this that. But you'll be more happy if you can actually derive and understand what's the fundamental behind that. I was not able to understand, but I can read the equals to mc square. Then I finished the entire book by just changing pages. The very last page of so what happens? This is special theory of Albert Einstein. He then gave, after 10 years, in 1950s 15, he gave a theory so called general theory of relativity. Okay, so the first is special, then there is general. uh, every book that touches special theory ends it with on general theory, just giving outline of what is general theory. So general theory talks about how space time is connected and how mass can bend space time and black holes and this type of things. I read the few one of pages, and at the end, the author written a had mentioned a note that the theory is a bit complicated, right? So we cannot mention everything about the theory here. So if you are interested, you have to go and check out some links. some reference books, and then he mentioned 4 or 5 reference books. And there is one thing I did not mention, that the book that I was reading was actually a final year graduate book, physics final year graduate book. I just took it from somehow and I found that it's actually final graduate book. Of course, I did not get much, but that when I thought that if a final year undergraduate student find it hard to understand this thing, I'll also find it hard. But I had this idea that I was so much, impressed by the theory that I'm like, this is something I'll do. Even though it is hard, like you understand so hard that even undergraduate physicists have to look at other books. I'm like, of course this may be hard, but it will also be fun studying something which is so talks about black holes and stuff. So that was the time, accurate time and space time, and where I decided that this is something physics I want to pursue over any other biology or some, because I mentioned I was also okay in biology, and that made me choose, you know do a I talked with my professors who are experienced in physics. They said you have to do a master's, a PhD, if you actually you wish to study this. So I started with of course BSc the first, and knowing that I want to study this so-called GTR, I started taking some courses in astronomy from the very first year. Started attending webinars or public lectures if there are any around me. And it's very common here in Mumbai Science Center. You have Nehru Science Planetarium, which is in Mumbai Central. Then you have Tata Institution of Fundamental Research. You have University of Mumbai. So these are the places I used to roam, like, tell me, teach me something about this. And that and yeah, so that's I'm still now on the path, learning the theory. uh, that's how it ended up with physics.
That's
Yeah.
really interesting and elaborative, right, Meher?
Yes, it is. It is.
Also very motivating and inspiring for our listeners. Like we both are already inspired. I want to like read Wikipedia page more on physics.
Great.
So because we can't really go in depth, I can't really go in depth into learning and all of that. But yeah, that's a really elaborate and very nicely put, very detailed answer.
So, as you just said that you are into physics, and you went to you went to
Science center.
Science Center, and there are very few kids who are really into physics, and which I give them high
High
salute
five.
to, high five to. But for, for learning physics, you really need to spend time and give time and understand it. So in today's world, why do you feel education is important to you?
Right. I would start saying that my I would say it's my parents who found that education is important. Initially, they were those who put me into school. So I guess I'm glad for that, because initially you don't have a choice, right? Whether you want to go to school or not. The parents have the right to put you on. So initially they put me. They found it important to make me educated over, despite the fact that they themselves do not have a formal education as such. So, and also they prefer me to put in English medium school over a government school. That's I'm always glad for. um, and after that, after one point, it happens that you start seeing that you are you have something in you, or you can actually take a jump from that zone. So when, like, initially I said that parents they put me, and then so when I was in 8 and 9 standard, around that time, I felt that parents are actually, their motivation was going down, right? Initially their motivation to educate me more was going a bit down, and my motivation to educate me was going a bit high, because that was a time I found physics, I would say science is like important. I was liking it. So I what happened, initially they supported me, then I started supporting myself, so I became started becoming a bit independent of that. So then the sooner I started becoming better in this subject, I started getting kind of like scholarship or this from here and there. So that made me like self-supporting. So I started not putting pressure on my parents to pay the fees and that. And uh, when that starts happening, um, you're already in a flow, you're already in an education flow. And I guess it's important for me, if I just end by saying this, I like it, that's why it's important. I can do it, that's why important. I have struggled a lot, so I don't want to stop doing it now when this is the high time I can make my career into it. And there are like hundreds of opportunities which are coming. Just to mention few, Ligo India, then there are like thousands of opportunities which are coming around. So what happens at the lower zone, when there is competition, the competition happens between mediocre people, right? The competition does not happen between those who are professionals. So this is the time, I mean, I would say after a point, it so happens that it's a choice whether you want to work or you want to take a job and then just keep on doing the same work for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Those who can manage to make themselves more, they become the professional, and then they create more leaders. So science is a field where one become a leader, and a leader creates more leader. This journey eventually will develop the entire planet, not only the India, or that's a small domain, but the entire planet needs leaders who can lead in a good scientific way the world. I guess that's why it's important. um, and it's also good for Indian India needs to improve. It's like not developed that particular much. It's also improving. The new education policy had just came this year, 2020, 20 the last year. So yeah, I guess that's why it's so important to educate everyone, not just, everyone should have at least a minimum amount of education that teach them discipline, which is very important. Discipline, we don't that's something we don't even counter as a skill. Discipline, respect, how to respect everyone, every gender. These are the things comes when one have at least some level of education of some quality. And I hope I see that maybe India will develop soon on those lines of
That's a very
Great.
yeah.
that's a very nice answer, and it really shows that you're very ambitious and positive, which is like two important skills, right, to be successful, right, Meher?
If I yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Okay, so
If I can add one more thing to
sure,
this
sure,
answer.
yes, yes.
uh, this is of course a Bollywood movie line, but it's very touchy. I mean, it's core, you can code it. How many of you watched Super 30? If you Super 30.
I'm not yet, but I do know the story about it. It's about JEE mains, right? JEE exams.
That's right. So this guy, I watched the movie, right? In that movie, he passes a line which says that I mean, he says in Hindi कि एक बच्चा जब पढ़ लेता है तो वही नहीं, उसके आने वाले 7 जनरेशन का पूरा जिंदगी चेंज हो जाता है. And that is the truth, right? I mean, if you see the if the parents are responsible, they have the mentality, they can put their kids to good school over something else. Even this environment matters. So that's also, it's so important that um, to educate the generation at this moment. My parents are not educated formally, but they put some time and have put money also to make me, and this will eventually be so useful not only for that particular family but for the entire nation. If you you know
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, this is very important line that I always remember. एक बच्चा पढ़ने के बाद पूरा generation, it changes the 7 पुश्ते जो आने वाले. I mean, that's so big.
So basically, just for our international audience who don't understand Hindi, so it's basically saying that, you know, if you educate yourself, the next 7 generations, your kids will all be educated. So you're growing the education system. So,
Right. And one more thing to mention, none of my family members, I have big family, last, they have 10, 5 kids, the grandmother, so none of them have a physics degree as such. So I'm the first one to have the physics degree, according to my survey that I did. Okay. This is my
That's
survey. I'm like,
that's
yeah.
very inspiring. That's amazing. That's really nice. I mean, that's
that's
really
Right.
something to
a
be
lot
proud
going.
of.
Very. You should be very proud of yourself.
Yes, yes, thank you for that. And so now I would, if I grow up and I have ever kids, then I would also, encourage them to take physics or science. That is what is needed. So yeah.
That's really nicely put, and it's good to hear you speak about things that inspire you, because it also reflects in the way you say it, and for us and for the audience. So that's really nicely put. So I would like to say, because you're very ambitious and very positive, and this is a strength. This is definitely a solid strength. But sometimes there might be challenges, or to be that person, to be a very positive force, to be uh, to be strong and ambitious, there will be challenges. So can you share a little about the kind of challenges you faced?
Right. Mm, physics itself a very big challenge. I mean, let me start with saying that
Okay.
it's not that easy. So after a moment, right? Like 10th, 11th physics sounds okay, okay. So you can brag about, I know this, you know the speed of light is this. But after level, right? You start feeling the pressure because the education system, specifically at India, is not it's not that research oriented. Okay, I am bit research oriented. Like I had some internship experiences in the past, so I like to use when I learn something. So let's say if I learn um, how to measure temperature. Okay, let's if I learn, then I would like to measure the temperature of the coffee that I have in the cup. I drank it, so now it's not there. So I would like to measure how that. But in India, you would what you'll learn is how to learn what is a measure, what
Correct.
is the method of measuring the temperature, but you will never measure it.
It's theoretical, you mean to say?
Yes, yes, and that brings gap between what is supposed to be and what you know. That piles up the pressure.
Hmm.
um, and also in India you have lots of entrance exams at each level, right? I would say it's good. It's not bad. India is like highly populated, so they themselves have no other option. I mean, they can't take interview of 10 million people at a time, and then they have to, somehow cut the numbers.
Filter.
But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but there could be also a way by which they can. I mean, you're
Hmm.
judging one kid on one entrance, one paper that he gives for 3 hours, and you would like to judge everything about the kid. That is,
Not fair.
there could be a more, there could be one more. I mean, you can add more dimensions to it.
Efficient way of
Yeah,
judging. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Add more dimensions. Let's see what if he has any
What are the
research experience, right?
Sure,
And
sure.
those who could not crack it, they are those who then have to find out some other way of doing it.
Hmm.
It's, I mean, if one is motivated, they never stop. They'll do it. They know they will do it, but they just have to find out a way of doing it. That was so, yeah, like I will say that physics itself is not that easy at a level after a stage. So that, which is also good, which keeps you, I mean, if
On
you're
your
learning
toes.
a,
Yeah.
yes. The second, if I mention, then I always wanted to. Money is always something which I want to be friend of, a very good best friend of.
We
So
all
I
want
mean,
to.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Who doesn't want?
yeah.
Who doesn't want?
I guess in India this is a saying that there is only one person who is rich, which is Mukesh Ambani or Ratan Ambani. Or if I'm allowed to take the name, so except him, everybody else is rich in India. Everybody else will go in like मेरे पास पैसे नहीं, मेरे पास पैसे नहीं. Um, I mean the problem with specifically with research field is that it's time consuming process. So I'm 22, I'm doing my masters. Then if I do PhD, it takes more 5 years. Then I want to do, if I do more 3 2 postdocs, more 2 years. So by the time you finish your education, when you get a job, like a proper research job, you'll be like 20, 34, 25 of age. Okay. And if you take I mean, of course, there can be jobs in between, but this part money is at times stops people to continue, you know,
Mhm.
educating themselves that much high. It's also time consuming, plus it needs money. After graduation, post graduation, one can just go and take a job. That's like one earn, a fair amount of money. After few years of experience, one get promotion. So after some time, one start getting fair amount of money. But here you have to, if you want to be a researcher, uh, first the number of jobs are very restricted number of jobs, um, and competition is to there. Even the mediocre level there is competition. I define it in this way: once you become profession, there are no competitions. So yeah, money is also one of the thing that can pull you down at times. But
True,
if you're
definitely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So during our
Mhm.
research, we found out that you were awarded a prestigious fellowship by the Indian Academy of Science that made you travel to IIT Madras and work on gravitational wave modeling. First of all, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Can you share more about the same?
Right. So I mentioned early when the in the first few question that how I started liking physics. That was because of general theory of relativity, a work of Albert Einstein. So this gravitational wave is actually a consequence of Albert Einstein's work that he did in 1915. So when I was in second year of my undergraduate degree in Wilson College, I got to know about this internship and I talked with my professors. They said, "Okay, you apply. We'll recommend you." So I applied. I also had a good CGPA. Then I was also into courses astronomy, so that actually boost your in your CV also, and then that there are something that makes you different than others. So I guess that was something that I applied, and that was something on basis I got judged and got selected by the Academy of Sciences. Just for a particular number, they get 10,000 to 14,000 applications every year for physics, uh, and they have to select 300s out of that particular number. So that's the level of competition. I would say that at that moment I wrote the SOP not very good, which is a bad thing. But now I have learned how to write a good SOP. uh, but I got selected somehow, and then they called me. And so then I went there for the very first time. For like that was the first time I traveled alone without anyone. So, I traveled to Madras. Chennai Express is what I used, and then we I moved to Madras, and I worked with the one assistant professor of IIT Madras. His name is Dr. Chandrakant Mishra. He's actually a member of LIGO. LIGO is the a detector in US. There are two such type of detectors, and in India there are few institutions. Very few institutions actually work in this gravitational wave research. And India is actually, just for information, is India is actually building their own detector, which will be built in Maharashtra, like in 2025 or something. Uh, it's a
That's
it's a
nice.
huge project. Yes, it's a huge project, like billions of dollars. This would be like the fifth detector in the world that we are building in India. Uh, there are two in US. There's one in Italy, one in Germany, one in Japan. Now this is in India. This will create more opportunities. So when I visited IIT Madras, I was of course new. I did not know much about the thing. So I had just mentioned in my SOP that I want to know a bit about the subject. That's all I mentioned. And I visited there, and then seniors guided me how to what is this. They asked me to read something. They asked me to write codes, read research papers. So I would say that was a not that was a fun experience. I learned professionalism over there, how actually research works, how people talk. So when on the very first day, when the professor asked us to have a group discussion, so I was pretty nervous, what how this works and stuff. So then I observed how people answer two questions, and that made me so this type of internships, I mean, those who are listening to me, right, these internships are very important. If you get any chance, just do it, because that will give you a direction to your path. It will also teaches you how to write good SOPs, so you don't make mistakes like I did in the past. It creates connection, which is very important in research. So now I can ask my professor to write SOP, LOR, like letter of recommendation, if they like me. that will then give you other internship, then other internship, then it's like a chain. So what I learned there, I was learning how this gravitational waves gets created from different sources. So let's say, for example, you guys have heard of um, black hole, right? Right?
Yes, I have heard. Yes, both of us
So
have heard.
Can you give me one characteristic of a black hole? What is that, if that's possible?
it sucks things
Yeah.
and it just takes it, and there's nothingness defines it.
Hmm.
Like it's just black. It takes everything, and you can see it destroys it.
That's right.
And yeah,
Hmm.
that's it. And I read somewhere it is expanding. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
all I've heard. Yeah.
What would happen if one black hole, there are two black holes close by, and then they will one eat the other, or how would be that, what scenario that would be? Two
Okay,
black
that would
holes.
be
Yeah,
interesting.
not one.
The the bigger black hole will maybe take another. I don't know. I mean, I've not
Yeah.
actually thought about it before, but I know that they take up stars, they eat up stars and planets. And I read one conspiracy theory or something. I don't know if it is truth or not, but they are like expanding and they're gonna eat everything, and one day they're gonna take Earth as well. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's all I know. There are a lot of movies, by the way, for black holes. So that's also where I get my knowledge from, which is not really
Ah.
accurate way of getting information. Yes.
Uh-huh. The Interstellar movie was a good movie to check out black holes. Meher ma'am, you want to talk about a bit on black holes?
I
To
have.
be like, yeah, I did not see that movie, but yeah, I've also read that it sucks
All the planets and stars.
all the planets and stuff. Now, if you say that there are two black holes opposite each other, what will happen? So, I think both have gravity force. So, I don't think both either one of them will be able to suck the other one. Maybe they will. It will combine and suck things around it. Because I don't know whether one gravitational force can suck another gravitational force because both the powers will be almost the same. So that's my maybe
Right, right.
wrong, maybe right.
Mhm.
I don't
That's right.
really
That's
know, but
right.
maybe you can
So
help us.
they would combine and form one single system, right?
Um,
Now, what gravitational wave has to do here? If that is the question, right? Black hole is massive object. When it rotates, let's suppose there are two black holes, right? When they rotate, they'll rotate around the center of the mass. What they do, they bends the space time. Suppose this is where the black hole is, right? So it'll bend the space time, and when this black hole moves, it moves the bends space time, right? So it, in some sense it creates uh, black hole waves, gravitation, I mean a wave of space time fluctuation, if you can imagine that one. Like if you throw a rock, small rock uh, on a lake, right? You see the waves, like they flow outward.
ripples,
The same, yeah,
ripples.
ripples, right? Yeah, the same way, when a black hole moves, it creates ripples in the space time, in the
Okay.
space itself.
Interesting.
Now if you have two, right, so if you have when you have two black holes and they're rotating, this 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 ripples of space time that flows out, one can create a detector and detect them.
Mm.
So this is in short what LIGO is doing, and this is known as gravitational wave, the fluctuation of space-time. So this is, so what I did there, I was learning about what different sources are there that can actually, you can detect them, that produces detectable gravitational wave sources. So it's, the thing is that everything that accelerates, so this is a, let's say this is a coffee machine, this accelerates, it creates gravitational waves in theoretical, in theory, but you can detect it or not, that's a different story. But if you have this supermassive black holes which are rotating and then they are, like, eating each other, that will surely detect, produce gravitation that you can detect. So this type of work that I was learning about, this is one of the sources. You can have other sources, a star which is dying. And if the
Hmm.
star, you have a dying star, and if it dies not symmetrically from all the sides, then the center of mass will accelerate in one direction. So that is similar to the coffee mug acceleration, but here the twist is that the center of mass is more massive,
Hmm.
of the size of the order of the mass of the star. So that creates a gravitational wave that you can detect. So these are the different sources predicted by after this. Okay, different sources that is in theory you find, and you can model these sources, and then you can study when the waves comes and you detect it. Then you can find, you can analyze the data. And so this type of work I was doing in IIT Madras. So that was very exciting. Yeah.
And we can definitely sense the excitement the way you explained in detail, right, Meher?
Definitely, the excitement is, I think, four times whatever he said, and I am sure there are a lot of people who are going to be inspired with what he said, and like a lot of people will come to know about the black hole example and maybe start researching themselves.
Absolutely.
So
That's really nicely put. So, to have such drive, you must be having some kind of idols you look up to. So, can you tell us who are your idols?
Right. The first hero would be Albert Einstein, no doubt, because that's the, I mean, he did a work with that people are following till still now, and like that's a pillar of modern physics. I mean, you need theory, you need Albert Einstein to understand physics more. I mean, just if you, just to give an example, right? So we are now using this Zoom for the talk. If there is no theory of relativity, there would not be a Zoom, there would not be internet on, because the the signal that travels from here to satellite, you, there is subtle change in the way time flows. So the time that flow here on earth surface is a bit slower than the time that flows in 400 kilometers above the surface. You need the theory to find out the difference, and that difference is actually needed indeed. So he's the first person, I would say, not only for me but for the entire physics community. Without Einstein is the one, everybody, at least about his smartness, not maybe in the other work that he did in life, where he may have done other things, but in, at least in the way he worked and the way he gave theories out. I mean, being a clerk, he did not get a job after graduation, so he became a clerk for 2 years, and he was doing his research being a clerk. And when, writing the theory in a post office was something we can't imagine at this moment. um, so yeah, he's the first one I always wanted to study, understand his theory. That is something still I do. I still did not get what his work, and maybe I'll start getting a few after I finish my master's degree. The second guy I would say, mm, I guess Maxwell. Maxwell, he's also a scientist who gave theory in electrodynamics. So, okay, again, the signal that travels from satellite to here, it's an electromagnetic wave. It's specifically the radio wave that travels. To understand that law, you have Maxwell's equation, and anybody who does undergraduate have to understand the laws, Maxwell's equation. It's just four laws, and it's so beautifully written that if you understand the four laws, then you can find out everything, just putting the boundary condition. So he's the second guy. I guess when I say ideals, I mean, I have a different way of defining. I like a very particular nature of them, not a big person, not the entire person as such. So let's say this is about scientist ideals, and if I want to take some other ideals, then let me think of few. uh, I'll go first about nature, about being human. This is more important than even knowing how to solve Einstein's equation, I believe. How to be human and having human connection, that's something uh, is I look up for Miss Chandra Prabha.
Okay.
The last you guys had, the last interview.
Yeah, I guessed.
Um, yeah,
Last year. Yeah, yeah.
yes. that's human connection is mean that is very important. So I always, I mean, when I talk to her, or even if we meet her, or I try to learn few qualities, if I can just, I can listen this, that. So just for one example, I just, once we were talking about something, and I was high that like high in the sense, I said, you know what, I want to change the system, the education system. So I'll drop science and I'll do something that will make me a good, that will give me a position, political position, so that I can bring more fundings to the system, and will give fundings to every NGO, and that kind of talk I was doing. She said, Vijay, what would be more important and useful is to start contributing at your own comfort zone at this very right amount of time. That is also practical, at that don't disturb you much. That was so small, when you listen, but at that moment, that the impact is so high. So yeah, like in short, she's also one of them. And um so what I do from my comfort zone for that, then I'll take one two more names. I have Lisa. um this is not expected maybe, but I'll say Shah Rukh Khan. I'll tell why. I'll also explain why. He's he has a, if you see how he, after interview, or when he was giving interview, how he respect the other gender, the way he treats the other gender, that's that's a quality not everybody have. Even if they have, they may not be able to show it up, right? That's some, in some sense, known as chivalrous. So he's kind of chivalrous person. So that's so I observe him how he behave with the, with all genders, I would rather say, but treating the other gender, and especially the female, the woman, I mean, according to what is the condition now of the civilization, it's actually more important to treat the other gender in a more special way, because it's a need at this moment, like to treat the gender in a way, also to make them develop a bit. And maybe that will eventually will turned out to be having more numbers of Nobel Prize in physics by the opposite gender.
So as you spoke about Chandraprabha, she was our guest on Unplugged Tech earlier. She is the CEO of Earth Samvata Foundation. I also know you have volunteered for many of the campaigns. Can you share some details about those campaigns or about your volunteer experience?
Right. So early the last year, when there was just a sudden abrupt lockdown declared by the by the Prime Minister, I joined ESF. I got to know about ESF, and then I applied writing SOP, and then they selected me as an executive management intern. Now the name sounds like a cooperative job from 9 to 5. I don't know why that's so, but I actually helped them making reports and things. So I'll mention a few of the campaign in which I was part of. So the very first campaign that they started right after lockdown was to save to feed animals on the street of Ayodhya to save them from starving. And before I actually start saying, I mean, they are just doing very good work, just amazing the work they're doing. um, I mean, whenever there is need, they start making new campaigns, and then they want more people to join them, so that they can keep on helping them. They have a good team that supports them. So what I did, so they have a field workers who actually go and you know feed the things. The I call them the fighters, and then you need people who can take care of everything, who can make reports, who can help them connecting things. So what I was assigned to make reports of this campaign. I did this for, I guess, 3 months, if I'm not wrong. I did the same work for 3 months. And then I was also helping to help them some of their fundraising. uh, Second campaign that I helped was, you remember, okay, so it was very high in the news about the migrant crisis, the in from Mumbai, everybody in the around Bandra or Dadar, in in in
Delhi,
news,
all over here. Yeah.
right? They had this idea that they discussed with, if I'm not wrong, with Suraj. I guess he's the uh, he's also part of ESF. They discussed it with Surya, yeah, and then the basic idea was to have a record of flow of migrants. See what happens, the government, they are very good in doing this, but they take too much of time. Moreover, the way they connect, the way they collect the data, you can't do anything with the data. You write on page, and how you gonna analyze this thick book? So their idea was to help is to get data of what the flow of migrants from in and out of Ayodhya. And then during the lockdown and after the lockdown, if we can provide jobs to them, assistant to them, depending on what skills they have and what job experiences they have in the past. So what I did, I helped them making the database, the back end database you need. So when you're filling the form, you get the options, right? This district, this name. So that is where I help them to make the database. And yeah, so these are the two campaigns I was part of. And they are still having, I guess, the new campaign that they started. It's not a campaign, it's a project. It's so called Phone Shala, and in which they wish to. So usually what happens, you need smartphone and internet connection. Smartphone is itself costly. Just to mention, I did not have a smartphone before I joined Wilson College because I could not afford it. And then I got my because I passed with good marks, so somebody, my aunt gifted me a phone for that reason. Okay, so that's also like to get good marks because I get gifts because of that. Um, and of course the internet connection is also expensive, like 500, 600. So their idea is to have a normal phone, and if you can somehow connect those who need to get educated to those who can provide, that's what they are doing in short, in the phone shala. uh, i I had gave them this idea that can we. So I was a writer to visually challenged students for 2 years when I was an undergraduate. I've seen them struggling to study, right? So what they do, they have to have a friend who can record everything for them. So and then they have to listen the recordings. Okay. This is very much connected to what Phone Shala is doing, right? Uh, I mean, the kids can call, they can dial number, and then they can listen their favorite whatever they wish to learn. The same topic can be used to teach those who are visually challenged, right? Having everything recorded already, and then those who are visually challenged, no matter if they have the phone or not, they should get access to this. This could be one of the one level that they may think of. And I had actually had mentioned this, that so maybe they can think of that. So yeah, I mean, this is also one that they are doing as of now, and I see a good benefit of this uh,
Initiative. Definitely, it's really
yes.
great that you have been so active in social front as well. And listening to your interview till now, like you have done so many things, and that's like touch wood. It's very good and makes your like experience even more enriching. So after doing so many things, what are your future plans?
Yes, so after this, I plan to do PhD, and that's also in astrophysics. So I like astronomy, astrophysics. So I wish to do my PhD in astrophysics, and specifically, I'm interested in gravitational waves. Uh, the future plan, in one word, would be to understand Einstein's work. That
Okay.
would take like 10 years from now, and by that time, I think I would also be having a position at one of the places. If one understand Einstein's work, then one has something to have a value with it. So I want to do PhD, right, in astrophysics. And for that I'm planning to apply in abroad, in US specifically. US, Caltech institution, they are like doing research. Then you have Georgetown University, you have George Tech. In UK, you have Cardiff University. So these are the places I'm interested in to apply. And those who are working for in abroad, in India, you have IUCA, you have TFR. So now the closest plan that I can say is to have a PhD right after my masters. And I just I should take this as an opportunity and mention that as a with support of our Samartha Foundation, we had started a fundraiser for my master's, to support my master's degree, um, and it would be like contain the fee. It support the fee, which is about 2 lakh rupees or something, and then I also need some amount of money for the application process for this. So any any contribution would be highly appreciated. Any contribution, like I mentioned, the don't try to do a macro change, man. Try to do micro change. So anything that is comfortable, notable from your domain is would be something would be very highly appreciated if you can go and do the donation. And of course, I can eventually can see how to return that back. Before I confused whether I should take the education in NIT Rourkela, they have high fees, or should I join Mumbai University for my higher education? um, I had talked with Chandra Prabha, and I wanted to take a year, make, maybe somehow I can manage the fees and then I can pay. What she said, Vijay, many not many of many students from your very particular humble background can manage to do a masters. So if you have the opportunity, just do it and we'll support you. So I was like, are you sure about this? She said, yes, this will support you. And that's how we started the fundraising, and I now find that there are some supports that I'm getting at this moment. So yeah.
If you want to support Vijay's fundraiser, the link is in the. Uh, if you're viewing this video on YouTube, the link is in the comments. If you're viewing this video on our website, it's in the description below. So do
Right.
go and support in any small way. Small contributions help in any way, and it's always deeply appreciated.
That's right.
So our last question, and which we ask to all our guests: what is your success mantra? Do you have one?
Never give up, no matter what. Just do not give up. That is, so this entire theory of not giving up will work till start finding out, okay, this is not working, so how I can make out, you can't crack JE main, so if there is other way by which I can be the, by which I can be engineer. So I guess that worked for me very well. When I don't see a path in that particular direction, I try seeing how can I know that I want to go here, like point B, point here to here. If I can't go directly, I have to take a jump and I have to, some other strange path. So not giving up is the something that I feel work for me. There is a better word phrase which that contains not give up, which is known as grit, and there is people do research on this topic. I mean, if you think this is a very very important question, is there one thing that if I have I'll be successful in life? Come on, people do 10 degrees and they are not successful, they don't have jobs. Is there a one single quality that if I have I'll be successful? And this research was conducted by, and still, like, one professor I know from University of Pennsylvania. Her name is Angela Duckworth. She written a book, Grit. One should go and read the book. It's written for normal people. It's a health self-help book, and there are many things that mentioned in the book which is very important. So never give up. Helps. um, just have an attitude also, I would say, side by side, that don't compare yourself with others. If you can just manage to be better than your past you, that's the success. That's more enough. That's more than enough. That's all. And in every level, just try to be better than your past you, and that works fine. Because at times you won't find any competitor other than you. You have to keep yourself moving forward, and that's, I guess, that is what is important, even in research and any place. Yeah.
That's a very good answer. I mean, I must say, you should always aim for the best version of you and keep it improving. I think this is a very good success mantra. So, with this, we end this show, and we are so happy to have Vijaya here, who really shared so much information, so much delightful information, so much like interesting stuff. I'm sure you guys would also be like me and research on the stuff he has said. Okay, so first of all, thank you so much, Vijay, for being on the show and sharing your um, life story.
Thanks for
And
having me.
definitely. And guys, to our audience, please find information, fundraising links, and all the profiles in the comments section for YouTube, and on our website. You can check all the details in the description box. So I think this is
Right.
the end, and we are happy for you to tune in till the end. So thank you for giving your time, and I think this is bye. See you soon.
Thank you
Cheers.
everyone for tuning in. See you in our next episode. Thank you, Vijay, for being part of it.